Hello everyone. So today we're going to be talking about present tense in French. So for present tense, we call it present tense, but what we actually mean is a tense called présent de l'indicatif. You don't really need to remember this one, but just so you know for the future, present tense is présent de l'indicatif. It's also usually the first tense that we learn in French. So verbs in French, as we know, can be divided into three different categories. We have ER verbs, we have IR verbs, and finally we have RE verbs. So let's start with ER verbs. Examples of ER verbs are parler, to talk or to speak, and aimer, to like or to love. So in order to conjugate any regular verb, there's a set pattern that we must follow. So the first step is to identify, I'll write it over here for you, identify the ending or the group of the verb. For this specific group, we are looking at ER verbs. The second step is to remove the ending, either ER, IR, or RE. And then the third step is to add new endings for present tense. So let's talk about the endings for ER verbs in present tense. The endings are I for je, IS for tu, I for il, elle, on, ONS for nous, vous, IZ for vous, and finally ENT for il, elle, pluriel. So let's take one of these as an example, and let's see what that would come out to be. Let's take aimer as an example, this verb over here. So we'll write it over here. We'll write aimer here. Aimer. So let's take a look at our steps. First, we identify the ending of the group. This is an ER verb. Next, we remove the ending. So let's remove this. Let's actually change colors. We'll change to red. We're going to remove this. Now we're left with aim, or in French, this would be pronounced M. Start off with this, and our third step is add our new endings. Let's put it in blue. Add our new endings for present tense. So for je, we are going to add an I. Okay, and we'll do the exact same thing for all of the other ones. We start with whatever is left after we remove our group ending. And then we are going to add our new endings for present tense depending on what the subject is. So I, ES, E, ONS, EZ, and ENT. So now we're left with M, M, M. Remember, S at the end of words in French is not pronounced. Aimons, aimer. And then for verbs in French, if it ends with an ENT, we do not pronounce the ENT, we pronounce it as if it was an E, so it's pronounced the exact same as these three, M. So that's for regular ER verbs. Let's move on. IR verbs. Examples of IR verbs include finir, choisir, finish, and to choose. So again, we follow the exact same steps. First, we identify these are ER verbs. We're going to remove our endings and add our new endings for IR verbs. So for IR verbs, the endings are IS, IS, IT, ISSONS, I-S-S-E-Z, and I-S-S-E-N-T. So let's take finir as an example, to finish. So I'll write it up here, finir. Again, our first step is to identify which group it is. This belongs to the IR group, and so we are going to remove our IR ending. We're left with FIN. Now, same thing, we're going to take our FIN, we are going to add our new ending. For present tense, je would become fini. And again, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to write what is left. And we are going to add our endings depending on which subject it is. So this is IS, IT, SSONS, ISSEZ, and ISSENT. In terms of pronunciation, again, S's and T's at the end of words are not pronounced for the most part. And so it would be je finis, I finish, tu finis, il, elle, on finit, nous finissons, vous finissez, and then again, ENT is not pronounced at the end of a verb, so this would be pronounced il, elle. Notice I did not pronounce the S over here. Il, elle finissent. Vendre, to sell, and descendre, to go down or to descend. Again, these are just example verbs. All of these verbs chosen are regular verbs. So let's follow the exact same process. You should know them by now, hopefully. If you don't, try to test yourself on it. So we are going to identify the type of verb, the group. This is an RE verb. We are going to then remove the endings, and we are going to add our new endings depending on the subject. And so, for example, for je, we add an S. Tu, we add an S. For il, elle, on, we add nothing. So just take it off and then don't add anything else. Nous, ONS, vous, EZ, and il, elle, pluriel, ENT. You'll notice this is very, very similar to the ER verb group. Like the other two, we're going to take one of these as an example. Let's take vendre as our example. Vendre, to sell. What are our first two steps again? Identify the group. This is an RE verb. Take off the ending, and then we're left with our root. Let's write it in. Vend, 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 vend. This is an E. Vend, and vend. Next, like the other two, we are going to add our new endings. So we add an S here, we add an S here. Remember, nothing is added here, so we leave that. ONS, EZ, ENT. And so here's what we're left with. Je vends. Notice, don't pronounce the S, don't pronounce the D. Je vends. Tu vends. Il, elle, on vend. Nous vendons. Vous vendiez. Il, elle, vendent. ENT is not pronounced. To show you that it works for anything, we're actually going to make up a random verb. And let's see if you know how to conjugate it. So let's say, for example, that I gave you the word, I tell you that there is a French verb called crôner. Doesn't exist, but let's say it does. Okay, so what's our first step? Our first step is identifying the type or the group that this verb belongs to. Now, in order to do that, we look at the last bit over here. This is an ER verb. Do we remember ER endings? Let's take a look again. Our ER endings are E, ES, E, ONS, EZ, and ENT. So if we wanted to conjugate this made-up verb connaît in present tense, and assuming this is a regular verb, this is what it would look like. connaît. We've identified that it's an ER verb, so we're going to take off the ER. We're left with con. And then we are going to add our endings. Con, 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 chronon, chroné, chron. Remember, ENT is pronounced just like an E. And there we go. With this made-up verb, assuming this is regular, this is how we would conjugate it. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try a different ending this time, a different group. Let's say, for example, again, we're making up a verb over here. Let's say, for example, that the verb nernir exists. So let's try and conjugate this made-up verb in present tense, assuming this is a regular verb. So first, we need to identify the type of verb, or the group that it belongs to. And so in our case, this is an IR verb. Where we look at the endings. Let's remember what our endings for IR verbs are. Je becomes IS, tu IS, il, elle, on, IT, nous becomes ISS, ONS, vous becomes ISSEZ, and finally, il, elle, pluriel becomes ISSENT. And so let's write our verb again up here. Nernir. We've correctly identified that this is a IR verb, and so we're going to take off our ending. And then we are going to add our new endings depending on the subject. So let's first write these in. And then now we can, depending on what the subject is, add our new endings for the present tense. IS, IS, IT, ISSON, S, ISSEZ, and ISSENT. So this will become je nernis, tu nernis, il, elle, on nernit, nous nernissons, vous nernissez, and il, elle, remember, don't pronounce the S, nernissent, so pronounce just like an E. Now, I'm assuming you know what's coming next. Let's try one for an RE verb. Again, we're going to assume that this is a regular verb. Let's say, for example, that the verb mendre exists. It doesn't, but let's assume that this verb exists and that it is a regular verb. Now, we first identify the ending, the group that it belongs to. This is an RE verb. Let's recall our RE endings for present tense. Je is an S, tu is an S, il, elle, on, we don't add anything. Nous, ONS, vous, EZ, and finally, il, elle, pluriel is in IENT. Let's again write our verb over here. Mendre. We've correctly identified that it is an RE verb, and so let's cross off our group, and then according to the subject, we add our endings. So for RE verbs, je becomes an S, tu, we add an S, il, elle, on, we add nothing, nous, we add an O and S, vous, we add an EZ, and finally, il, elle, pluriel, we add an E and T. And so we are left with this made-up verb mendre. We're left with je mens, tu mens, il, elle, on ment, nous mendons, vous mendez, et il, elle, mende. And there you go. This is how we conjugate regular verbs in present tense, also known as présent de l'indicatif.